What are the cars you would never buy for your dealership?
So, me being a used car dealer that sells these cars that are $5,000 under, I see a lot of these cars that have very, very, very high mileages, and they're older cars. So I know which cars do not last the test of time. And what I can say is that there's a few on my list that we will not even touch for our dealership. And the number one that comes into to mind for me is a Nissan with a CVT. And a lot of people like to say CVT transmission, but the T in the CVT is transmission. But you'll often hear it's called a CVT transmission. It just means it's a transmission that doesn't go through the gears. Your RPMs when you're driving the car will go up, and then they'll slowly go back down. So the transmission can basically recalibrate itself all along the time that you're driving. It's a constant kind of thing. Problem is these transmissions are garbage, and they would not last. So it gets to the point where there's a hard cutoff. There's a hard line of in Nissan Altimas when they started putting these transmissions in versus putting like a regular shifting transmission in. It was 2006. 2006 still had the good transmissions in a Nissan Altima, and 2007 and up they actually they changed it to the CVTs, and we will not touch those. They're absolute garbage. And you can even see other car dealers have the same opinion on these as I do. You can have a Nissan Altima that's a 2005 go through the auction, and then one that goes right behind it with the same mileage that's a 2009. And that 2005 Nissan Altima will actually bring more money than that 2009 will, because all these dealers do not want to touch it. That 2009 Altima will be dirt cheap, and the 2005 Altima will be really expensive, just because they knew that those were better cars than the 2009s. Other makes that I don't really touch is Volkswagen and Audis. It's not that I really hate them, and the newer ones could be great. I don't know, but the old ones, the ones that I have to deal with, seems like I've bought a lot of Volkswagens over the years, but it seems like every one that we've ever bought, we've had some kind of major oil leak issue. Rear main seal is one of the biggest common things that I've had to deal with Volkswagens. And for the cars that I buy, remember, I'm selling cars that I got selling for like $3,500. If I've got a rear main seal that I have to deal with, that's like a $750, $1,000 job. It's not worth it. And it seemed like every one of those Jettas, every one of those Passats that I would ever buy, even like I've bought a few like the Beetles, Bugs, whatever you want to call them. Same thing. They just all of them leaking from the rear main seal. I don't know what kind of design problem that Volkswagen, that Audi had to have this kind of issue happen with so many of those vehicles as they get older along in their years. And I know what you're saying, like, okay, well, you're buying cars that got 180,000 miles and they're 15 years old. All of them are going to be leaking oil. It's not the case. Like Toyota Camrys, not the same issue. Corollas, Accords, Civics, CRVs. I mean, I could go through a massive list of cars that I love to buy, RAV4s. That's Toyota and Honda, but also you can get into other vehicles like even American stuff that you can consider Jeep, like Jeep Compass or a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Not even a similar type of percentage of them would have rear main seal issues, and Volkswagen and Audis always. I don't know what it is, but I'm off. They're off limits for what I want to buy.
We talk a lot about money on this channel. Car payments, credit cards, budgeting, and people just trying to make sense of where their money is actually going.
That's where Monarch comes in. Monarch is a private, ad-free personal finance platform designed to give you a clear, centralized view of your money without turning budgeting into a full-time job. Monarch brings all your accounts together into one clean dashboard.
Bank accounts, credit cards, loans. So you can actually see your full financial picture in one place instead of bouncing between apps. There's also a shared viewed option for couples, so both people can see the same financial picture and stay aligned. It also gives you AI-powered insights if something changes, like if spending starts to creep up somewhere, so you stay aware without having to constantly dig through your accounts. It connects with over 13,000 institutions, so everything syncs up pretty easily. So click the link in the description or scan the QR code to start your free trial and get 50% off your first year if you use code DEALER50. If you want a better way to see your full financial picture without making it complicated, check out Monarch. And thank you to Monarch for sponsoring this video.
I've got some others that I won't touch, like Nissan Rogues. They fall into the same Nissan pattern with the CVTs. I won't touch those. We're getting now. There's cars that I still buy right now that I'm starting to sour on as they get older, and I think I've got one on my dealership right now, but Chevy Trailblazers and GMC Envoys are they're the two of the ones that I think it's not going to be long if we get another one or two that have timing issues or any kind of motor issues or just these ghost transmission issues that we deal with these that are very common. If we get another one or two of those in the next probably 6 months, I'm probably myself and Alex, who buys a lot of cars from me, I'm probably going to say, no, we're just not buying them anymore. We're finding that our loss rates in those are getting higher and higher and higher. And I don't know if it's a product of the age that's getting on them, and then those types of parts that are in those vehicles are wearing down, and now's the time frame where they're just going to be shot. But we're dealing with more of those issues. Sticking with GM and Chevy, the Terrains and whatever the comparable other model is it's a Chevy Terrain and a GMC Terrain and a Chevy Traverse. Those are the two same drivetrains. Those, we're done with those. We used to buy those a lot. And again, timing issues with the motors, absolute garbage. So we're out on those. And there's another GMC product, Equinox. Equinox is another, and that's a Chevy Equinox. And then there's going to be a GMC equivalent of that too. Those we don't buy anymore either. So, and again, timing issues. GM, what's going on with your motors over the years? And now we're dealing with motor issues with the brand new GMs too. But over the years, these motors, they're not holding up, and it's all timing. We have to do so many timing jobs on these engines, and it's not worth it to us. It used to be that we could buy them cheap enough, $700, $800, $1,500 to be able to fix the timing and then be able to resell them and still make some money. And it was less of a gamble. But as prices have gone up over the years, it's not worth taking the gamble anymore. We can buy something else with that same money. So yeah, a lot of the GMC, a lot of the Chevy products, I'm afraid are going to be on the do not buy list here in the next little bit, especially as more cars are being more readily available for us to buy at auctions. It's just I'm not in the business of gambling. I like to gamble aside of all these cars. Love playing craps, love playing poker, love playing blackjack, but I'm not trying to do that in my business when families are actually counting on me to make the right decisions. So those are probably ones that are not going to be on our list of buys anymore.
Do your buyers have cash and cashier's checks, or do you take credit cards? Or maybe your buyers don't have credit cards. And this is probably coming from the fact that you've got the word cash on all the cars. That gets confusing.
Yeah, so I actually get the question a lot of, well, how do customers actually pay? Because I walk out on my car dealership and you see cash under the sign, and back here it says $1,500 cash. That's a phrase in the car market that just says you have to pay fully for the car. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to bring me $1,500 bills to be able to buy this vehicle. And most of our customers don't actually pay cash. What they'll do is they'll pay with either a debit card or a credit card. I don't recommend paying for a $3,500 car with a credit card when you're going to be paying crazy amounts of interest. I mean, that seems insane to me, but that's the only way some people can actually buy the car. And our cars are cheap enough where people will have a spending limit on their credit card to be able to purchase it. So a lot of other car dealers typically don't deal with that because if they're selling a $15,000 car, there's not a lot of people out there that have a $15,000 credit limit that are buying those types of cars, right? But we actually have cars that people can put $3,000 on their credit card. It's bad news, but people do it all the time. And I can't tell them how to actually pay for their car other than I'm not going to finance it to you, right? So, but the majority of our cars are bought with a debit card. And then I don't know the percentage. My wife might have a better feel for this. But I would guess maybe 20% of our cars are bought on a credit card. And there can be different portions. They could put some on a debit card, some on a credit card, some even pay cash. But most of our transactions are not actual physical cash. They are on a card.
You want to know the answer?
I do want to know the answer. I'm curious. I
right.
think it's going to make me mad.
This is going to a really small number of these are going to be like where we sold a car at auction. So a really small percentage of those.
Okay, yeah,
so
yeah. That's on
just so you know, so it's not perfect, but it is very close. What percent of the number of transactions that come through, or the amount, depending which one, I have both numbers, come in as credit card payments?
Do you have all three broke down? Cash?
It's two. I have cash, check, credit card, and debit, and I also have it by amount or by the number of transactions.
Let me do cash, debit, and credit. Can I guess those three?
Go for it.
Cash, I'm going to guess, is 35%. Debit, I'm going to guess, is 35%. And then I'm going to guess credit is like 20%.
Nope. Cash is 28%.
That's lower than I thought. Yeah.
Debit is 60%.
That's good.
And credit card is 11%. I
Okay,
will say,
perfect.
though, debit might be a little bit higher now because it's just after tax refunds.
Yeah.
So it's probably a higher percentage of credit cards later in the year.
That's probably accurate. Yeah.
This is year to date.
Yeah. So 11% credit card, but it's probably going to skew a little bit higher than that towards the end of the year. I don't hate that. I don't like it for the 11% of people that are paying credit, but I thought it would have actually been higher than that, and I was going to be aggravated. So that's good. That's good. That makes me feel a little bit better about the financial situation of our customers.
If a buyer pays with the card, do you pass along the transaction cost to the consumer, which is about 3%? We do not. There are no fees in addition to the price of the car, even if we end up having ridiculous merchant services fees from being able to process cards.
Yeah, we eat it as an extra service to our customer, and I don't like it. But so if you come buy a car from me, don't use a credit card because it costs me money. Use a debit card or come pay me cash, please. Or I'll take Pokemon cards. You can pay me in Pokemon cards.
Okay, wow. It
Not
only
Bitcoin,
helps
though.
if it's on a debit card. If you do it as a PIN transaction, if you run it as credit, it still costs us like credit.
Yep.
Maybe a slightly lower rate, but I think it's about the same. Yeah, I see other people talking about it. Yeah, a lot of people will charge that extra fee, and honestly, I don't blame them. The merchant services fees are crazy. Depending on what kind of system you're on, some credit cards charge the merchant, when you use a credit card, 5% and 6%. The higher your rewards are on your card, the more expensive it is for that merchant to be able to process that payment. So that's where it comes from. I don't blame any company for doing that. And
think about it too. So it's the total amount of the purchase. So it's not on just if I'm making $1,000 on the car, like I'm not getting that 3% fee on just the money that I get to keep. It's like the $3,000. If it's a $3,000, $3,500 car, we're getting that 3% hit on the total price. So it can add up.
Yep. Thousands every month.
Yeah.
Do you use a CPA firm to do the books, or is that all handled internally? Used to be all handled internally, but we do have a CPA. However, because I was always handling it prior to that, I keep separate books so that we can calculate it how we want to and not necessarily how the IRS does, because we like a very particular type of tracking on how much we make per car, and a CPA really doesn't like to get as granular as we do. So that way they can do the tax version. I don't have to think about that anymore. We did until COVID, when I did payroll and everything prior to that. But when COVID hit, payroll changed and it got complicated, and I was scared and I did not want to mess that up. So that's when we started transitioning to a CPA.
Good answer. I'm proud of you.
I mean, it was a factual statement.
I wasn't listening. I don't know.